Hey YouTube, imagine if your S550 could do this. Well, I'm going to show you that it can by just adding one of these. Let's go. So you're probably aware that you can open the windows on a very hot summer's day by just holding the unlock button on your remote control, which is great, but what's really bugged me about this car is you can't close the windows like you can on any other car that features on by holding the close button. And also my mirrors do not fold in automatically when I switch the ignition off and park the car up. Well, with this unit we're going to fix both of those problems. So this unit is an Aliexpress special, and it's a unit that's going to sit in between the controller for the door mirrors and the window and allow you to use your remote control to not only lock the car but to close the windows and to fold in the mirrors. Let's take a little look at what you get. So this is the box it came in, and this is what I would call an Aliexpress special. I'll put a link down below on where you can get this unit from. So looking inside the box, what we have here is an instruction manual, but forget that. You've got the unit itself, which is this, and you've got a little bit of wiring. This sits in between the plug that you'll find inside the door, and these two wires connect to 12 volts and the door unlock signal. So let's not waste any more time, let's get this installed onto the Mustang. So a few of the tools you're going to need for this job are a 7 and a 10mm socket with a ratchet, of course, and not forgetting our usual panel removal tools. So we need to remove the actual door panel, and for that there is a hidden bolt behind there, which I'll show you how to get off later. There's bolts under here, and there's 2 bolts under the lower edge here. So let's start with the ones we can see, which is the 2 7mm bolts down at the bottom edge here. So next part is a little bit harder because we've got to move this piece of trim here. So I'm going to start at this end just to loosen it, and then we'll move along and it separates down that seam there. So once that's been removed, that reveals a hidden 10mm bolt in here. And the last hidden one can be found under the handle here. If you lift the handle up, you can see there's a little cutout up there. I'm going to need a pick like this to get into that hole to pull off that plastic cover. There she goes. And again, it's another 10mm bolt to be removed. And as with any door panel, that was the easy part. The hard part now is we've got to leverage all of this off to release all of the clips that are holding it on all the way around the edge. And to do that, we're going to need a variety of panel removal tools. So let me just get this off. And that actually came off quite easy. I was quite surprised. So when we lift this off now, what we now have underneath is a few sockets which are easy just to remove, and the door part itself, which just needs to be pulled out of the slot. So removing this door opener was a little bit tricky. What you need to do is you get a pair of needle nose pliers, and you need to just get those 2 pieces there and just squeeze them in to allow it to go backwards and come out the slot, and then just pops out like it did. So for this mode I need to take this speaker out, and that's just the 7mm bolts around the edge. We need to get to the 2 plugs that we're going to be using. So the first plug you need access to is just behind here. So this is the door lock, so it's the one that powers the door lock. So if you put your hand in here, and you should be able to press on a pin and pull that one out. So it's the old press and release as usual there, and this is the one we need out. And the other plug you need, if you look in this part here, this is your window motor. So you have to reach up here and you can feel the plug, and you just need to pull that plug off I've already released it so it came off easy, but it's usual sort of thing where you need to press in one edge to release it. But that plug, you just need to pull it off and bring it down. What we need to do is we need to use this pin. So if you see where you've got the two round parts there, we're going to be using the right hand one of those, because I've got my little tester here, and if I just touch onto this pin that we're going to be using, then as you can see my light is glowing. That means there's permanent 12 volts on there, so that's going to power our new unit. So I've now tapped in to the window regulator plug, and that gives me my full 12 volts into my new unit. So what I've done, from my unit, I've chopped off the lock wire itself at the end, because I'm going to extend these because it won't be long enough. And this is the plug from the lock, and using that first pin as you're looking from this side here, so using that one there, I've clamped on a tap there, and I've wired my lock wire into that point there. So I'm now going to plug this back in and put this away. And then I've done the same here, so I've just tapped on to the right hand of the two circular ones here, and that's going to be my 12 volt, but again I've chopped it because we're going to need a bit of extra length, and I'm going to put a plug that that you can undo, so when I need to take this off I can unplug it. So we can put this one back in place. Right, after much deliberation, I've decided to lift this up here and put the wires through there, so the unit ends up inside the speaker hole here. I'll sort that out in a minute. That allows me to connect these wires together, leave that to go into the actual switch unit for the windows, and that is going to be, I've just added that plug there, so that is going to be my connector for this mains power and this other one here when I've extended this wire to reach. So correction to my earlier wiring, it did appear to work on the first wire of this plug, but then when I've come to further testing after I put it all together, it didn't work. With this plug back in, it didn't work. So I've now put it onto the second wire, and now that all works perfect. So here's my final position of everything. So I've got all this lot wired here, so that should all come through the armrest to go fit to the window switches. My unit has gone through there and it's just hanging loose in here at the moment, but there is some wiring at the back of here, so I'm going to get a tie wrap and I'm going to tie wrap that to a back of some wiring there. You probably can't see it, and then that should hold that and stop that from moving. So as a case of just putting it all back together. Start off by putting the speaker back in. And that's it all go back together, so let's do the final test. So I'll just get in the car, we'll just turn on the ignition, and what we'll do is we'll just lower the windows, make sure the mirrors are out. Right, turn off the ignition, leave the vehicle, and test number one is we'll just lock it with the normal key fob. Mirrors, windows, fantastic. Now open the door. That opens fine. Again, we'll just set it up again. Turn the ignition on. Drop both the windows. Ignition off. Right, this time we'll touch the door handle. Lock, mirrors, windows. And the last test is that the mirrors will unfold when I start the car. So foot on the brake, press the start button, and there you go, look at that. Fantastic. well pleased with that. That is one of the best mods I've done on this car. So that's it, one unbelievably brilliant mod on my car now. So this is fantastic. Mirrors fold in, windows close if they're open when I lock the doors automatically. So that's great. I'm going to drop a link down below in the comments where you can go get this unit or one like it if you want to do this to your car. You don't always get a lot of details with these Aliexpress specials, so that's why I've done all the detail for you in the video, showing you where to connect it, how to wire it all up and get it all working. So that's it guys, thanks again for watching my channel. If you do enjoy videos like this, and please subscribe, and if you enjoyed this particular video then please give me that thumbs up. Don't forget to drop me comments below what you thought of this and any mods you've done to your car, and recommend some more mods I can maybe do to my Mustang or my Audi. Thanks again for watching, until next time, stay safe.